The Little Red Hen. Once upon a time, there was a little red hen. She lived with a pig, a duck, and a cat. They all lived in a pretty little house, which the little red hen liked to keep clean and tidy. The little red hen worked hard at her jobs all day. The others never helped. Although they said they meant to, they were all far too lazy. The pig liked to grunt in the mud outside, the duck used to swim in the pond all day, and the cat enjoyed lying in the sun, purring. One day the little red hen was working in the garden when she found a grain of corn. "Who will plant this grain of corn?" she asked. "Not I," grunted the pig from his muddy patch in the garden. "Not I," quacked the duck from her pond. "Not I," purred the cat from his place in the sun. So the little red hen went to look for a nice bit of earth, scratched it with her feet, and planted the grain of corn. During the summer, the grain of corn grew. First it grew into a tall green stalk, then it ripened in the sun until it had turned a lovely golden color. The little red hen saw that the corn was ready for cutting. "Who will help me cut the corn?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," grunted the pig from his muddy patch in the garden. "Not I," quacked the duck from her pond. "Not I," purred the cat from his place in the sun. "Very well then, I will cut it myself," said the little red hen. Carefully she cut the stalk and took out all the grains of corn from the husks. "Who will take the corn to the mill, so that it can be ground into flour?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," grunted the pig from his muddy patch in the garden. "Not I," quacked the duck from her pond. "Not I," purred the cat from his place in the sun. So the little red hen took the corn to the mill herself and asked the miller if he would be so kind as to grind it into flour. In time, the miller sent a little bag of flour down to the house where the little red hen lived with the pig and the duck and the cat. "Who will help me to make the flour into bread?" asked the little red hen. "Not I," grunted the pig from his muddy patch in the garden. "Not I," quacked the duck from her pond. "Not I," purred the cat from his place in the sun. "Very well," said the little red hen. "I shall make the bread myself." She went into her neat little kitchen. She mixed the flour into dough. She kneaded the dough and put it into the oven to bake. Soon there was a lovely smell of hot, fresh bread. It filled all the corners of the house and wafted out into the garden. The pig came into the kitchen from his muddy patch in the garden, the duck came in from the pond, and the cat left his place in the sun. When the little red hen opened the oven door, the dough had risen up and had turned into the nicest, most delicious-looking loaf of bread any of them had seen. "Who is going to eat this bread?" asked the little red hen. "I will," grunted the pig. "I will," quacked the duck. "I will," purred the cat. "Oh no, you won't," said the little red hen. "I planted the seed, I cut the corn, I took it to the mill to be made into flour, and I made the bread all by myself. I shall now eat the loaf all by myself." The pig, the duck, and the cat all stood and watched as the little red hen ate the loaf all by herself. It was delicious and she enjoyed it, right to the very last crumb. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived in a house in the forest. There was a great big father bear, a middle-sized mother bear, and a tiny baby bear. One morning, their breakfast porridge was too hot to eat, so they decided to go for a walk in the forest. While they were out, a little girl called Goldilocks came through the trees and found their house. She knocked on the door and, as there was no answer, she pushed it open and went inside. In front of her was a table with three chairs, one large chair, one middle-sized chair, and one small chair. On the table were three bowls of porridge, one large bowl, one middle-sized bowl, and one small bowl, and three spoons. Goldilocks was hungry, and the porridge looked good. So she sat in the great big chair, picked up the large spoon, and tried some of the porridge from the big bowl. But the chair was very big and very hard, the spoon was heavy, and the porridge too hot. Goldilocks jumped off quickly and went over to the middle-sized chair. But this chair was far too soft, and when she tried the porridge from the middle-sized bowl, it was too cold. So she went over to the little chair and picked up the smallest spoon and tried some of the porridge from the tiny bowl. This time it was neither too hot nor too cold. It was just right and so delicious that she ate it all up. But she was too heavy for the little chair, and it broke in pieces under her weight. Next, Goldilocks went upstairs, where she found three beds. There was a great big bed, a middle-sized bed, and a tiny little bed. By now she was feeling rather tired. So she climbed into the big bed and lay down. The big bed was very hard and far too big. Then she tried the middle-sized bed, but that was far too soft. So she climbed into the tiny little bed. It was neither too hard nor too soft. In fact, it felt just right, all cozy and warm. And in no time at all Goldilocks fell fast asleep. In a little while, the three bears came back from their walk in the forest. They saw at once that pushed open the door of their house, and Father Bear looked around. Then roared with a growly voice. Mother Bear said in a quiet, gentle voice, "Somebody has been sitting in my chair." Then Little Bear said in small, squeaky baby voice, "Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has broken it." Then Father Bear looked at his bowl of porridge and saw the spoon in it, and he said in his great big growly voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." Then Mother Bear saw that her bowl had a spoon in it, and said in her quiet voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." Little Bear looked at his porridge bowl and said in his small, squeaky baby voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge and has eaten it all up." Then the three bears went upstairs, and Father Bear saw at once that his bed was untidy, and he said in his great big growly voice, "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed." Mother Bear saw that her bed, too, had the bedclothes turned back, and she said in her quiet, gentle voice, "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed." Then Little Bear looked at his bed and said in his small, squeaky baby voice, "Somebody is sleeping in my bed." He squeaked so loudly that Goldilocks woke up with a start. She jumped out of bed, and away she ran, down the stairs and out into the forest. And the three bears never saw her again.